Welcome everyone, welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon and we'll be previewing a game by Marco Scythe, or Scythe, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, I do apologize to the developer. The game is called BossConstructor. What do? Well, we construct bosses. Well, not exactly. Kinda, maybe, if you think about it in a way. It is a shipbuilding and spaceship fighting game with a little bit of exploration and story in between, and it's kind of very interesting, really. We've got first the exploration mode, which explores a generated galaxy. So, you know, every game you start is, well, it's different. We've got challenges on the leaderboard, that usually doesn't interest me in games. We've got the endless mode, skirmish, and so on and so forth. So let's just show you the exploration mode right at the beginning. So we can start a new game, or, you know, continue the metal space.
Galaxy map initialized.
There we go. Now, the basic story of the game is that there are various factions in the game, but their biggest concern is these red guys. This is some kind of an AI that's gone rogue. I'm not sure it was actually created by any of these guys, but it's an AI race that is, well, trying to take over the entire galaxy, and thus is a right big menace, because they're very powerful and very numerous. And you've got the activity. They're called the von Neumann, and their activity has become a substantial threat to humanity. You must stop them. Now, it says humanity because I believe there are no alien races per se in the game. There are various human groups, factions, and so on and so forth, and some of them are actually genetically modified, but in essence they're mostly human. Now, the coolest part about this... Oh yeah, before we go on, I would just like to say that every time you meet a new faction, or, you know, something like that, story-related happens, you get a little story text. And I have to say, for a game like this, that's not exactly, you know, focused on just storytelling, it's actually very well written and very interesting. So I was quite taken aback by, you know, some of the stuff I've read, and it was rather interesting to read. I actually read it all. So yeah, kudos for there to the developer. So anyway, the missions are branching in a way that we started over here, and then we selected one of these, you know, missions to go to, and then you sort of move. I'm not actually sure I guess I can just go from there to there? Not really sure why I would want that, or maybe I should have. Anyway, every time you do a mission, of course, the general galaxy map changes, because, you know, factions take over space, they lose space, the enemy, the von Neumann actually expands, and so on and so forth. But of course you also have these tech labs where you can buy and sell things. Although, to be completely honest, after playing the game for a while, I'm not exactly sure how the credits work. Now see, I've got 3,510 credits. I haven't really found a way to sell my things, although, wait a second. It did say that I can sell and buy things. Wait a second, is it in main menu? Manage, tutorial, evolution modes, research. Now here's the research, where you don't actually research things, but these are just the modules you have found in space and salvage them, because you build your ship according to what you find. Now this is the coolest part. Customize your ship. This is the coolest part of the game for me, where you actually build your ship. Oops. Now this is my ship. Now graphically the game is not very, you know, it's not very advanced or very amazing. So, you know, be prepared for that. You know, you won't be blown away by the graphical fidelity. However, what it lacks in graphical fidelity and makes up in sort of complexity. It's quite interesting because every part you see has some kind of a you know, role to play, and depending on how you rotate some of the stuff, like the propulsion rockets, or where you place it, it will behave like that. So for example, I have some propulsion rockets here. Now this is my main thruster, because I found a really nice hyper efficient fission rocket, which doesn't use a lot of energy but gives me a lot of drive thrust. Oh, excuse me, I do apologize, my nose is a bit stuffy. And you know, these are mainly my turning rockets. So these will fire when I'm trying to turn. Of course, you have to, you know, assign, here. You have to assign controls to all of these. So for example, if I'm turning right, you can see that only these ones will fire. Or if I'm turning left. Or if I'm going forward, you know, these 3 will fire. These 2 and this one, because they're aimed properly. Or backwards, just these 2. So it's pretty cool. And also weapons. You know, you select yourself whether you want to fire them all at once or not, and where you want to place them. For example, I could place the resonance cannon. Let me just turn this off. I could place it over here if I wanted. I could even place it over here. But it would make my ship rather sort of, you know, wide, and I'm not sure I want to do that. I do prefer to keep it long. Of course, that doesn't mean that it's a little less maneuverable, because, you know, if I had my propulsion rocket somewhere over here, I would be a lot more maneuverable, but it does mean that I'm a smaller target when I'm facing the enemy. Of course, now the cool thing is, if they destroy a part, for example, if they destroy this rocket, I'll have difficulties turning left, because this rocket will be gone. If they destroy some of these solar panels, I will have less energy generation. In my last battle, by the way, they destroyed one of these rockets and my main rocket, so I could only pretty much move backwards. It was pretty bad, but I still managed to finish it. So I've got some resonance cannon, some laser, and over here we have the general. You know, ship is okay, so nothing is wrong, nothing is invalid, like this, for example. See, this is invalid. Then we've got the ship cost. Now, this is not exactly what... I don't really understand this. You can also publish ship designs to Steam, by the way, and then, you know, get them. But I don't really get the ship cost. It doesn't seem like it takes cost away from anywhere. Or maybe you can only build a ship for as much money as you have, but it never really takes money away from you as far as I know. I don't really know. I'm not sure on that. Anyway, speed is okay. It's not very fast or anything because, you know, we've got a lot of weight and not a lot of engines, but it's okay. And of course, we have the energy capacity over here because of lots of our batteries over here, energy generation and energy usage. Now, usage is, of course, if I was firing all my rockets and all my weapons at once, so it's not as bad, you know, as it seems. It even says it's okay. So we can also test our ship. So here we got our integrity, our energy, and our speed, and of course our map, which is a little bit maybe, you know, weird at the beginning. And here's our inventory. I'm not really sure, oops, why it's here, but there you go. So anyway, I can fire my lasers, I can fire my, you know, secondary cannons, which actually moves me back a little bit. And then we can also, you know, move left, right, and so on. Why is the main engine firing when I'm going left? That's weird. I'll have to check that. See, that's why we go into the editor. Why is it firing when I'm going left? That should not be firing. See, I don't quite understand that. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's yellow. I'm not sure. I mean, red means it will not fire on A. But yellow, I don't know what it means. I'll have to, you know, figure it out. Anyway, we can test it now. So there we go. Now if I turn left, we only fire those, well, retro rockets, you could say. There we go. So that's pretty cool. You know, we've got my weapons, these weapons, pretty cool. And we can destroy stuff. Anyway, but this is only the test part. So let's go to, oops, why did I do that?
Galaxy map initialized.
I have to edit my ship, make sure that it's all right now, that I've saved that. No, I haven't. There. So now I want to work on left. Now, I've placed some armor here that I'm thinking I should probably place over here. So it protects my sides as well. Now, you have to be careful. I could place more armor on there, but it will make my ship more cumbersome. So, let's return to the galaxy and finally select a place where we want to fight. Let's go to the Ageless. Now, the Ageless are some, you know, very powerful elitist people that have genetically modified themselves to be pretty much immortal, and they're trying to stay away from the von Neumann, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that here. We have detected a von Neumann transport vessel. Destroying it would help us slow down the von Neumann's progress. Some of the asteroids in the sector contain a lot of ore. You might want to use this chance to refill your storage. Only ore from asteroids counts. So every time you get, you know, a main mission, which is destroy freighters, and a secondary mission, which is mine ore or something else. Ooh, a stationary von Neumann vessel. Interesting. Please destroy it. So let's go for this one. Destroy freighters.
Begin mission.
So we select it, and, you know, we get an overview of the map first. And when we're ready, we can press any of the buttons. So we are over here, and there's enemies already coming over, so we have to be careful. Now, as I said, all of the... everything has its... Sorry. Boom, there we go. That was quite easy. But every component has its health and everything. So, you know, if I destroy his propulsion rockets, he won't be able to maneuver as much or at all. Weapons are my first concern, of course. So as you can see, I built a pretty nice long-range warship here. We have to be careful. We're getting surrounded now.
Module collected.
Come on, come closer. Gotta be careful, that guy's out of business anyway. So let's go for this one. Oh, not good. I shouldn't hit him either. If you crash into ships, it's not really good. Especially at high speeds. Yeah! As you can see, he's got one more engine there. Come on. Yeah, that's right. Now, the main thing to destroy in any ship is the command center, which is this one. There's another one over there. And I'm also picking up all this resource. Oh, it's just this guy that has one more rocket attached to him, but nothing else. So there we go. When you destroy their command module, that's the ship completely destroyed, and all the other, you know, modules will go boom. As you can see, he dropped something over here, which I can pick up.
Research complete.
It's an inefficient battery. Not a huge deal, but, you know, it's important to collect these items so you can build your ship from it. So as you can see, my my micro solar panel there is quite damaged. Most of my stuff is pretty okay. I think I've lost a solar panel over here.
Module collected.
So my my energy generation is not as good as it could be, but that's alright because we've now destroyed all but one enemy over there. Now these are asteroids. I'm just gonna get this one out of the way. As you can see, firing both of the weapons takes quite a bit of energy. There we go. I can still pick up more resource. Now, as I said, as you can see, the graphical fidelity is not really something to write home about, but... Oh, this guy looks... This is the freighter, isn't it? Come on. Yeah, the graphical fidelity isn't anything to write home about, and neither is the sound design, but... You know, that's all that can be improved, and really, it's not such a huge important thing here, because the gameplay is quite fun. Now this is what I want to destroy. This. And when I do destroy it, boom! Everything goes boom. Now I don't want to go into the jump gates yet. Module technology acquired. Because I want to... Oh, bulky cloaking device. Because I want to pick up the rest of the resources here. Because that will give us money, with which I have no idea what to do. Except, of course, upgrade my stuff at some of the stations. Now, these things that I was destroying were basically loot containers. So, you know, this time around, I wasn't really hurt much. I mean, my spaceship is in pretty good shape. But sometimes, in really... Ooh, I don't want to hit that. In really difficult battles, for example,
Resource collected.
you will, you might end up with just a tiny bit of your ship left. So, it can get pretty brutal.
Secondary objective complete.
There's a secondary objective. Also, another cool thing is, as you can see, having a ship like this, it's actually interesting how,
Resource collected.
difficult and unwieldy it can be sometimes. And if you smash into any of these things or other ships at a high speed, you will suffer quite considerable damage. As will they, of course, but, it's not exactly something you want to do when you have, 5 or 6 more or even more enemies to still take care of on the map. So,
Resource
let's see, anything else? There's these triangles which are alerting me to components I can still pick up.
Module technology acquired.
There we go. Let's pick that one. Is that a launcher?
Module collected.
Or a carrier? But I can't seem to... What is it? No, it's an actual... Oh no, it's just a piece. It's not even something I can pick up. Also, these trails are pretty cool. I have them up to maximum, so they, they stay there for 60 seconds. And I think they're quite pretty in a way. So let's go back. There. I have to stay here at the, unwieldy ship. I have to stay in the center for this little thing to fill up, and that will end the mission. And there we go, we've completed it. We've destroyed the enemy ships, we've retrieved quite a few modules. The red ones are inferior, and the green ones are good, and the blue ones are very good. Robust replicator that I haven't tried yet. I don't know what it does.
Galaxy map initialized.
So anyway, as you can see, the galaxy map has changed a little bit, I believe. And now we can edit our ship again, which is, I think, yeah, this is definitely my favorite part, because there's a module quality. Ugh, I've got a inefficient solar panel, because that's all I had, and hit points and armor. Energy range generator, let's see. Yeah, this is probably my favorite part, because after a, battle, you go back and you outfit your ship again with stuff. Holy crap, I've just noticed, not only did they destroy my solar panel, they destroyed, I think I had 2 more batteries over here. One over here and one over here. Oh, wow. That's not cool. Anyway, they've got some, let's see, reinforced AI command control or whatever. Let's see, so I definitely need, what's this? Accelerated mass driver. Interesting. A lot of DPS, 40. And a fair bit of range. Interesting. Very big thing, though. I think I'll keep the lasers for now, because they're very nice. So let's see. I need the batteries back. So, you have to replace the stuff that you've lost. There's a carrier thing, cloaking device. Nice. Makes your ship invisible to enemies for a short time. That could be quite useful. Whoa, it's pretty damn big as well. Now, the interesting thing is, if I were to place a lot of stuff on the left, but nothing on here on the right, the ship would not actually fly straight. It would sort of veer to the left, which is interesting. So let's place some of this stuff here and see if we can find another solar sail. Let's go for energy regeneration. Ugh, we've only got bulky and inefficient ones. It's a bit of a shame. But that's all we can work with right now. Darn it. An inefficient battery as well. How did they destroy all of this? It's a bit annoying. Oh well. Right, what else can we get? There's also rotating joints, which will cause the weapon placed on them. I think, can you do it like this? Not sure you can actually do it like this. Connect 2 ship parts and rotate them. Let me see. I obviously can't place it there because that's where the weapon is. Let me see. Yeah, you can do it like that. It's got no keys assigned, but that's alright. Yeah, interesting. I think I'll leave it like this for now. Or I could have the lasers on the rotators, but I only have one at the moment. Auto aim. Oh yeah, that's the rotating joint which you have to control yourself, and that's the auto aim joint which actually, automatically tracks the enemies. Bulky grappling hook which can be fired at enemy ships. Interesting. Bulky Integrity Enhancer. The Integrity Enhancer stabilizes a ship and increases its maximum extent. Maximum extent? I guess it's... Oh my god, I am getting cold all day today. Bulky micro ore container, replicator, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, there's a lot of various different modules you can put on, and it's really cool. Light control processor. Automatically reassigns your drive commands when a ship part gets damaged. Now, this is pretty cool. If you place this somewhere on your ship, for example, if my, my propulsion rocket here gets destroyed, it will try to compensate with the other ones to, do what you want to do, either go left, right, and so on and so forth. So I could put one of these on, I don't know, here, for example. So that's pretty cool. This one is 0.8 kilotons, I guess? I don't know. I mean, that would be crazy. And this one is 2 and 2. So this is actually the same weight, so we have a little bit more weight on this side. Oh well, not a huge deal. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the ship as is right now. So let's go back to the exploration. Oh, this is Aegis. The von Neumann have set up an automated factory in this sector. Please destroy it. We have detected a capital von Neumann vessel. Ooh. Let's do that. Detected. That sounds cool.
Capital ship detected.
Oh, Mentas, is this the health bar of the capital ship? That would be crazy. I can already hear something's going on. Destroy boss. Uh-oh. Whoa, what's going on here? Minefields? There it is. Ah, bloody hell, there's one over here. Oh, it's a very fast one. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, you don't. What was he trying to do? Come on, turn. Keep them at bay. Nice. Oh, there goes the boss. I want to destroy this ship in the meantime if I can. A little too far.
Resource collected.
Uh-oh, boss is coming this way. Okay, let's try to get the boss. I've never fought a boss before. I don't know how they look. Whoa, 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 no. Ow. Fortunately, I hit the armor. It's not very big. We're actually bigger than it. That's interesting. Okay, the boss is coming back. Get it! Yeah! Get it! Yeah! Haha! Nice!
Secondary objective complete. Research complete.
Modules here. Oh! Rotate my fat ass.
Module collected.
Yeah, that stuff. There's more stuff over there, but I'm gonna get it as soon as we get this guy. See, this is why I like the lasers. You can hit these small ones fairly easily. This guy is crazy. Nice. Now, the only... just ignore the basic-ish graphics, quote-unquote. I mean, I wouldn't really call them basic, although I just did, but, graphics really aren't that important for an interesting game like this. But yeah, ignore graphics and sound for the moment, because the gameplay is fun. The only thing I would really count as negative in this game is currently it doesn't really feel different fighting, I don't know, pirates or the von Neumann. They don't feel special or crazy, because they're made from the same components pretty much. Yeah. That's right. But this is an auto factory. Where's the command control? Oh, it's up there. It's right there. It's still up there. There we go. Bang. What happened over there?
Primary objective complete. Module technology acquired.
Okay, so we got...
Research complete.
We did all the...
Resource collected.
everything we had to do here. Let's just collect the modules and get out of here. Oh, there's one module over there that's just floating by. Yeah, my ship is fairly... Look at it go. Poof, poof, poof. It's sputtering. It's fairly unwieldy. But it, you know, it does a lot of damage when it's facing something. So I quite like that. Now here, over here, if you can see my mouse button, 24 out of 75. That's our hold for the resources, for the ore.
Research complete.
So there's one more over there, and then I'm just gonna ignore the rest of the ore. I'm still not sure what the ore actually does for me. I think it gives me credits, but otherwise not sure. There is quite a nice tutorial in the game, though, when you first start it. You know, it's not one of those where it gives you a big hunk of text to read through and all the controls. It actually, you know, leads you through the different things to do and tells you what to do. So that's quite nice. That's quite important, I feel. Auto Factory Hornet. Oh, look at that thing. That was what flew out. It was like... Oh, look at that. Autonomous Elective Governing Internet Works System, Aegis, is a mysterious paranational organization that had its beginnings in a cyber collective on Earth. Persecuted for their beliefs and extreme body modifications, these networked cyborgs were forced to seek shelter first in Central Africa, then in space. Since those early days, the Aegis superorganism, as it refers to itself, has sought peace in the far reaches of the galaxy, free to pursue its vision of utopia away from the judging eyes of baseline humanity. So it's like a transhumanist group, I guess. Their shock upon encountering the von Neumann quickly faded to fascination. There is a great deal of speculation within the superorganism as to whether the von Neumann represents the teleological apex of their own ongoing evolution, or a perverse offshoot. In any case, the neural systems of Aegis are completely incompatible with the von Neumann, and as such they have no choice but to fight the replicating machines when they must. Aegis characterizes these encounters as cooperative studies in machine fitness, although they usually prefer to negotiate settlements with the von Neumann. For example, recently an Aegis cruiser was spotted being chased by a horde of Neumanns, which it then got rid of by leading them to the location of a baseline human colony ship. Wow. Aegis proudly notes that this is in its externally accessible logs as a shining example of interspecies diplomacy. Wow. So as you can see, the descriptions are pretty damn good, actually, and very interesting. You know, all the factions are rather interesting and very sci-fi, of course. So, you know, this is what we're doing. There's the Aegis, we're doing missions. So this is pretty much what the game is. You know, build your ship, fight, and, you know, read a little bit of story in the meantime, and try to destroy the von Neumann on the galaxy map. It might not seem like a lot, but it's actually a lot of fun, you know? Especially editing the ship and trying out new combinations. I had like some torpedoes before, then I swapped those out for these lasers. I also had some fireballs, which were short range. I didn't quite like those, so now I'm quite happy with the resonance cannons, which do quite a bit of damage, and the lasers, which also do quite a bit of damage and, you know, don't have travel time. And of course, you know, you can always try new stuff with, like, the robust replicator. I don't even know what this does. It replicates a specified ship design using energy. To use it, add 2 replicator modules to your ship and have them oppose each other. The marked area in between them needs to contain a valid upward-facing ship part. Once the construction process has started, it cannot be stopped. It's like, what? This is going to make another ship? Blah, blah? It's like, blah? I don't even understand. Hacking module. Oh yeah, the rare hacking module fires a combat processor that attaches to and eventually hacks enemy ships. A hacked ship will become friendly and fight by your side. Can only be used once. Required for the exploration mode's final mission. So, you know, quite interesting. We could, you know, we could place it somewhere and hack other ships. But yeah, you know, there's 100 and thousands of possible combinations, because of course you can do whatever you want to do. And some of the, you know, some of the ships people have created are pretty interesting. So there you go. I mean, you know, that was a preview of BossConstructor. a very big surprise, actually. You know, when you look at the game, you wouldn't think of much, because, as I said, it doesn't look very graphically appealing at first, but it's actually really cool. The only thing I really wish they would change is sounds. You know, the explosions a little bit, maybe the sounds of the weapons and such, you know, make them just a little bit cooler in sci-fi. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next preview. Bye-bye.